Hey baby, this is Ron. Welcome to the back of the classroom. Go ahead and hit the like button to mark your attendance in the class, and let's get to it. Today we're going to talk about Chapter 4 in the 48 Laws of Power. Always say less than necessary. So the rule is, the understanding is, the more you say, the more likely you are to say something foolish or dangerous. So that means you could possibly say too much, put yourself in the jam, look crazy, and you want to avoid that at all costs. I'll give you a couple examples. Let's go back to when you were in school. Kids, you in school, teacher makes a mistake on a board. What do? Oh, you pointed out, right? You was waiting for this moment. Oh, the teacher made a mistake. Ah. And you start talking about it, right? Oh, teacher made a mistake. You put a 1, it's supposed to be a 2. Aha, you messed up. You should do better. I thought you were smart. And you start clowning. Nope. That ain't it. That is not it. Because your actions tells a story. And then when you start to narrate your actions, it can tell a different story. So you got to be mindful of what others think. And just know that your words can influence the way that they're thinking for the better or for the worse, positive or negative. Right? So let's look at how you told your teacher he was wrong. Put him on Front Street first, he or she, right? Put your teacher on Front Street. So now your teacher's like, oh, so you got this arrogance to you. I make one mistake and you blow it out of proportion. But in reality, if he wanted to, he can put your test scores, because he didn't sign a non-disclosure to explain all the errors you made. And he can go into all the different things you've done wrong and make you look bad. And there's nothing wrong with the teacher correcting a student, teaching him to be humble, or just simple, hey, this is how you could do this better, right? Teacher has every right. So you had your 15 seconds of fame, maybe 15 minutes, because he probably spent the next 15 minutes just dragging you. And the whole class knows who you are now, right? You had your 15 minutes of fame, but what did it give you? You try to publicly embarrass the teacher. The teacher reports your academics. He gives you work assignment. He gives you projects. He grades your test. He has your future in his hands, and you thought it was a good idea to push the button to antagonize him. Why? You literally got no power. Just some notoriety amongst the people around you who can't do anything for you in that situation. But they gonna root for you. You feel like you showed him, yeah, the class gonna remember me now. For what? The kid who got kicked out of class, who got detention for speaking out, and then he might have been right, but the teacher can always go, I was just trying to see if y'all was paying attention. And he regained the class's confidence. But of course, you got nothing. It benefited you none. Totally unnecessary. Let's level up. You had a job, right? Some jobs you got part-time employees, other jobs you got full-time employees. Imagine if the part-time employees said, oh, we got to do this, and this, and then it'd be mad close to time to leave, and we just be trying to get out of here. Like, can you do something about that? You got people here. Like, why can't they just finish it up? And it's a convincing argument. And then your supervisor goes, all right, well, the part-timers, they come in, they got to do all this, and that. We're going to let them leave a little early. And then you're like, I'm full-time. Like, nah, hold on. Does that apply to everybody? He's like, huh, what? I said, what's good for one guy be good for all, baby. Like, you ain't going to leave our full-timers out the pocket. Hell, we put in more hours than they do. We here for all the work. If they get to leave early, we get to leave early. You said it to them, you got to make it apply to us. You ain't going to do no favoritism. You just put the supervisor in the jam. Now he's got to rethink it. But you publicly embarrassed him because you showed him what he did was wrong, and you got the ability to think, articulate, comprehend, and, put that information back out there in a proper fashion. Like, I could have been a lawyer, just tear down your whole argument, and I got this. That's your supervisor. To understand, he can write you up. He has to do your evaluation. He makes sure your paycheck looks right. You sure you want to piss him off? Like, what does that gain you? We're all people. We all make mistakes. The man heard a suggestion. It made sense to him. He probably jumped the gun a little bit. But what did it gain you? Now, I'm not saying don't tell them about the error. I'm saying is be mindful on how you do it. So I would suggest, if you're in school and your teacher makes a mistake, ask the teacher, ask you a question. Can I walk up to you? You walk up, say what you're going to say. Listen, you put 1 instead of 2, and, you could have did like that. It's just a little mistake, but, I didn't want to say it out loud. Can I go? And you back up and out loud, you go, and can I use the bathroom? Embarrassing. The teacher will look at you and be like, oh, okay, yeah, go to the bathroom. And while you're gone, he'll look up and go, so I put something on the board. Did anybody catch it? Nope. See, y'all not paying attention. Yep, that should have been the one. Come on, I'm trying to make sure y'all guys are keeping up. Y'all can't just be sleeping. Wake up, guys. Wake up, wake up, wake up. And he can, shake and bake and recover from that. Your supervisor, he say something that might not quite be right. Wait till after. Take a moment. Hey, can I talk to you after? Yeah, okay, no problem. Bring you to the back of the office one-on-one. I noticed you had said the part-timers can leave. Is that the same for the full-timers? Like, we're doing that for everybody, right? And then he'll realize, you know what? I'm going to have to change that. Either he'll go to the individuals one-on-one, the part-timers, and explain how he can't do something for one and not for all. And since he can't let the full-timers leave like that, he's not going to be able to leave the parts. He's not going to be able to let the part-timers leave like that. Supervisor saves face. He gets to see that, you're not going to dismantle him or show off and showboat and prove how intellectually smart you are and how you can catch somebody in a mistake and publicly embarrass them. Got a nice little, you finesse a little bit to let it work in your benefit. But you keep it short. You keep it simple. Made a mistake. I heard this. I heard that. Is that for everybody? Don't try to overtalk it. Just get straight to it. Meat and potatoes. This is what happened. Vegetables on the side. Bang. They'll see it. They understand it. Wasn't too complicated. You're not trying to show out and showboat. You don't want anything. You're just looking for some clarity and understanding. Make sure we're all on the same page. Supervisor Buster appreciate that. And then you can move on. And guess what? When you need a favor, you're like, you know what? This is he's a good guy. He pays attention. He's on point. We could definitely use him in a certain level of management or so on and so forth. But you're not saying too much. You're playing by the rules. You're doing what you got to do. And you say very little, but you say what needs to be said, and that's it. Keep it very simple. Right? Because like I said, your actions, it tells a story. And based on your narration of it, you'll either convince people to accept you and believe everything that they believe about you is true, or you can change it. Now, if somebody thinks something negative about you, sure, I'm pretty sure you want to show them something different. But it always starts with your actions first. And then the narration comes second as far as them having an understanding of what you're doing while you're doing it. And that, it kind of works to your benefit. So just looking at the rule itself, you keep your responses simple and short. Keep people guessing. Because you keep it short so that no one has to really know all that you know. They just need to know you understand certain things. So when you can correct your teacher personally, he's like, oh, that's different. Most students would have just said it out loud. So now he got to look at you different and be like, I got to watch this one. Smart. Supervisor, put him to the side. Let him know you're not trying to publicly embarrass him. That works. But then he's still looking at you different because like most people would have said something out loud or try to get one over. But, you kept it kind of, simple, low key like that. So that works. You go to the flip side to it, right? This is you go to the reverse of the warning. Being too quiet, that silent era, that mysterious person who never says anything, it makes you look suspicious, right? It rouses suspicion. You are It leads to a lot of misinterpretation to who you are, right? So when you do something like that, you gotta be real cautious on what you're doing and how you're doing it, because if we go, all right, so everybody was in the room, something went missing, who was over by my desk, or who was in the room, and the attitude is, well, I ain't saying nothing. That quietness, oh, you look suspicious, because if it wasn't you, you would have said something. You didn't say anything. You just kept it quiet. And then, the attitude, well, I ain't a snitch, I ain't gonna say nothing, da 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 da. All right, so you do know the court of law, if you standing outside and somebody's doing something, you didn't do it, you're considered an accomplice. If you're the getaway driver, but I didn't rob the bank, I just drove the car, you're still an accomplice to the deed that happened, which makes you an accomplice. So if you're not going to help me solve the problem and you're helping those get away with it, you're an accomplice. So you got to be careful on what you say and what you don't say. Now, it could be very simple. I wasn't paying attention. I was listening to my music. I had my AirPods on. I'm so sorry I missed it. I don't even know what's going on here. Now you can just be looked at like you weren't paying attention. You ain't see anything. That's cool, but that's better than not saying anything. Keep it short. Keep it simple. I wasn't paying attention. I was doing something else. I'm sorry I missed it. What's going on? And then it'd be like, you know what? Fine, whatever. You know what's going on. Whatever. Move out the way. But to be present-minded, know what's going on, and be like, nah, I ain't gonna say nothing. I ain't gonna get no snitch. Gives the impression you know what happened, you have the information, and you're just not gonna tell it. And no matter what anyone says after the fact, because that was your initial approach, it'll be hard for them to trust you. It'll be hard for anybody to trust you, because you're not saying you wasn't there. You're not saying you don't know what happened. You chose to say nothing. And silence shows compliance in some situations. And you'll never know that person's state of mind when they're coming and talking to you when you're in front of them. So it's a risky business you're doing with just being quiet and not saying anything. That mysterious attitude goes but so far. And then it comes to a point where you have to show what you know. And you don't have to say a lot. You can say very little. But saying nothing, all right. I've seen it play out in so many different ways. It's never good to just simply say nothing at all. And then you're worried about what the perception is about you. But remember, you didn't say anything. That was a gamble you had. You could have said something. You didn't have to necessarily, go in full detail and great lengths to explain a situation that is no concern of yours or something you don't know nothing about. But you are in a unique position, and things were happening around you, and you chose, it was a choice, to say nothing. And depending on how severe things are going on around you, yes, it will lead to the way people look at you different. And unfortunately, there's nothing you can do about that, because when the time to act was present, you chose not to. And unfortunately, there isn't anything anyone can do for you in that situation, because it already happened. The time to shine was then, not now. The ship has sailed, and there's nothing anyone can do about that. So keep that in mind. If you made it this far in the podcast, I thank you. This is a really good book, almost like a book club with you guys. Very small scale podcast. I just want you guys to know I appreciate everybody who listens this far. Please share the link, tell everybody about it. Rails Locker online store. Purchase something, because I'm not asking for donations anymore, but at least you could take something away that shows your support. And I got more coming. I plan on doing a lot more engagement. Again, as the sales come in and I have, a little bit more resources, I can start branching out, doing other things. I want to grow. I want you guys to be part of it. So bear with me. Keep showing love. Keep supporting. Please hit the like button. Thank you for making it this far on the podcast. Talk to you guys later.